After looking at demonstration and goal setting, the final technique I've chosen is adapting to individual needs. This is adapting to individual needs is just ensuring that if there's anyone in your group that perhaps has a different ability, has an injury, possibly has learning difficulties, or a disability, then it's just ensuring that the coach accommodates the needs of those to help them participate in the session and still to take benefits from the sessions and improve their performance in possibly other ways to other people in the group. So the obviously individual needs can be adapted to any skill level really. So there's going to be people in the group that are far superior to the others in the group that will need perhaps something more challenging, and then you'll have the people that aren't as good, are less able, that will need to just go slightly backwards, back to basics possibly, and just learn some techniques that way. The sessions can adapt so they can obviously help people learn with learning difficulties. Visual learners, if they need a little bit of perhaps one-to-one, then the individual needs allows this. Disabilities and possibly language difficulties as well. If someone from that perhaps doesn't speak the same language as the coach just needs that one-to-one session just to allow for the information that's being given to really go in and for the session to be beneficial for them. It's also allowing for differentiation, so allowing for different people to benefit from different activities, or maybe the same activities but different kind of steps to it. So the more basic steps, or maybe having people doing more complex things within the drill. For example, if you were playing sort of a game like tennis, having maybe just some people just practicing the shots, the forearm maybes, and you'll have other people more higher ability people that will be able to move on to rallies and etc. Maybe more target based stuff rather than just being able to hit the forearm, and this is differentiation. Adapting to individual needs is obviously more beneficial with smaller groups, as when you have a large amount of people, the coach will struggle to really identify who is struggling with it, and also struggle to find something to adapt the session towards their needs without the rest of the group becoming perhaps bored or distracted by the time that perhaps the coach is taking with these individuals. And obviously working with the smaller groups will be is better for the individual needs. Also, it's easier to adapt sports that use kind of simple equipment, as if you have sports, for example, such as perhaps such as some of the athletic sports like your pole vaults and stuff like that, then these might be harder to adapt a session to an individual's needs. Whereas if you had a simpler game like football, rugby, something like that, then it could be quite easily to take someone off to the side and to do perhaps a little bit more basic work with them, or more complicated things. And also the sessions the drills will be able to be changed for different abilities more easily. The coach also knowing their performer is a benefit, as they know obviously what individual needs they have, what ability they are, and where they could perhaps look to change the session to meet those needs. Whereas if you're going in with a group of people that you don't know, then you're obviously going to struggle to work out what sort of level they are, what their individual needs are, and you won't have really any idea of what is going to be needed throughout the session to accommodate the different levels, different needs. And finally, adapting to individual needs is probably best suited for sports such as football, rugby, tennis, where you can easily there can be an easier variation in what you do skill-wise within the drills. So for example, you can do different passing drills in football or rugby, where it can be as simple as standing opposite someone practicing the technique, or you can do it within a game-based situation for the more able, the more higher ability people. And it is really all about the fact that these are easy to adapt to individual needs. Some of the negatives to individual needs, however, is that if a session is short, maybe there are some sort of time constrictions on this, then the coach is going to struggle to be able to fit the time needed to adapt the individual needs and to have the little smaller sessions into the session. So it's going to have the short sessions will be more group work, won't be able to introduce that individual needs, as it's too time consuming and too much of the session will potentially be lost. Also, as mentioned before, large groups, it's not as effective, as obviously unless there are more than one coach, they're going to struggle to see the full extent of what each individual needs, and sort of what different adaptations to the drills and trainings they might need. And finally, the adapting to individual needs can also become harder if what you're trying to teach is very complicated. Obviously, if you've got people that just aren't capable of learning these for whatever reason, or maybe have never played the sport before, then you're really going to struggle to adapt your training session or your drills to accommodate for the less able, as the whole drill will be based around complicated movements and techniques and skills that the individuals just aren't ready for yet.